McWhorter Custom Rifles presents.
Another perfect hit. Welcome back, folks. Looks like my son Kyle's ready for his Aoudad hunt. He and Seth Johnson are headed this week to West Texas. You don't want to miss this.
Precision Hunting TV is brought to you by McWhorter Custom Rifles, Zeiss Hunting, Macmillan Fiberglass Stocks, Hornady Ammunition, Great Horizon Ranch, Rack 'em Up Roasted Feeds, and Borden Accuracy.
So I've been watching my dad go Aoudad hunting for years, and I had an opportunity this year with my buddy Hagen at Millen Creek. He said they have some big rams, so I decided let's give it a shot. So for this hunt, I'll be taking 7L PRC, which is 300 PRC, neck down to 7mm. I'm shooting 180 Hornady ELDMs. I think this is gonna shooting right around 3,200 feet per second. I know I'll have shots anywhere from 500 to 800 yards and maybe a touch further if the weather permits, and I know this one will get the job done. We showed up to Alpine. We were hunting about 30 minutes west of Alpine in Fort Davis. Mostly just mountains, little vegetation, lots of rocks, and we were hunting 85, 90 degree weather. We'll be hunting with Millen Creek Outfitters. I've hunted with Hagen for a couple years now, become pretty good friends with him. They've got a great deer operation in Refugio, Texas, and they also do Aoudad in the fall, which is what we'll be doing this time. First day in camp, they kind of went over what we're going to be looking for. Sounds like we're going to be doing a lot of riding, spotting, stalking, and more hiking than anything. So this is my first time really learning about Aoudad, trophy Aoudad. I think this hunt we're looking from a ram from anywhere from 32 to 35 inches. I think 35 is huge. So we're any ram in that in that slot, then we're going to be pulling the trigger. So this is our first morning here in West Texas. We're hunting with Millen Creek Outfitters, trying to go after big Aoudad. They've been seeing a few here on this piece right here. It's about 7:30 this morning, and pretty cool, but probably won't last long, but stick with us. We'll see if we can get one. So first morning, we got up, got started, right at daylight. We walked, about a mile and a half to, top of a ridge where we were gonna overlook where Hagen had seen a few big rams a couple days before. So it's about 10 o'clock now. We're glassing some ewes on the side of this hill right here, and really didn't see what we wanted to see this morning, so we're gonna pack it up and go eat some lunch and come back. I think it's already about 100 degrees out here, so we're gonna try to beat the heat and come back about 3 or 4 o'clock and see if we can get those two big rams to pop out, but hadn't seen them yet, but they're here somewhere. We'll see if we can find them. So that afternoon, we got lunch, got back in the truck. We had about an hour ride back to where we were going. We go basically to the same spot. We tried to get a little bit more shade this time just because it was 90, 92 degrees. Had a lot of wind, mostly headwind straight in our face, and We saw probably 30 to 40 used small rams to start with.
So we finally got to a spot up on the top of this hill here, and we're looking at about 20 or 30 sheep probably between the different ridges here, and got about a 20-mile-an-hour wind, so it's cooled down a little bit, and they're finally starting to come down, but mostly just ewes and babies right now, so hopefully the big boy will step out here pretty soon.
And when it got a little closer to dark, we finally saw one of the targeted rams that we had that we were looking for. And then 5 minutes later, sure enough, here comes the one we were really after.
This segment of Precision Hunting TV is brought to you by Borden Accuracy, makers of the most accurate custom hunting actions on the market. Manufactured in the USA to true bench rest tolerances. Borden Accuracy equals success.
So as soon as the ram came out that we were looking for, got him in my scope, got a range on him. I think he started out at 720. He walked to about 690. Used my Kestrel, figured out my wind, ranged him one more time, and let it rip.
Got him. Reload. Going down left. It looks really good. It looks really good. He's about to flip.
Oh my
Smoke.
gosh. Yes.
Smoke.
Yes.
Smoke.
Dude. Hey. 18. 18.
I told you he's here.
That's pretty cool right there. He was worth the trip. He's pretty gnarly. Pretty gnarly. Made a really good shot on him, and easy recovery. Only ran about 10 yards. Shot him with a 7 LPRC, Borden action, Trigger Tech trigger, Brooks barrel, top with the Zeiss S3, and he was about 690. Made a really good shot on him. Like I said, ran 10 yards and made it easy other than the mile hike up the ravine. So a good trip to West Texas. Mellon Creek Outfitters take care of you, and I'll probably be back even though I almost killed myself.
The 7 LPRC that we brought on this trip really did the job. It's one of those guns that for terrain like this is perfect. Wide open, you're not really sure how far the shot's going to be. An animal that's on the larger side. I had a 690-yard shot, and it handled him perfectly. So I'm a little biased. We make these guns, but I knew bringing this gun out here, whatever the range was, ethical range was, that this was going to get the job done. All right, so with my animal down, we're transitioning to next week with Seth Johnson. He's coming out here with a buddy of his to do the same thing, same area. He's got a new 7 PRC, and he's looking forward to seeing what it'll do.
So my longtime best friend, buddy that I grew up with, Adam Lauderdale, and I, we try to do at least one hunt together each year. And we've never been on an Aoudad hunt, neither of us, and we decided to book an early season hunt with TO Outfitters out of Fort Davis. And actually Kyle Rovig was in the same area, probably a few miles from where he hunted with Mellon Creek just the week before. He shot a great ram, so we had high hopes that we were going to hit the season just right and find us two big rams of our own. So our first afternoon out, we go to this piece of property, and we're we're glassing a lot of different goats. We see all kinds of rams and ewes, just not something that really piques our interest, doesn't have that look that we're going for. So we get in the Ranger and we cover a lot more ground. We go to this different mountain range, and we round the corner and we look up and there's this ram perfectly perched on this point. And from a distance, he looks like he's really heavy horn, but he's just a bit too far to be able to judge him. So we made some ground on him to try to get within range so we could get some glass on him and judge him. We got to about 500 or 600 yards and put the glass on him and decided he was probably a shooter ram and that we needed to make a stalk to try to get in a position to shoot. I grabbed my McWhorter 7 PRC. We're all loaded up and ready to go. And where we were going to be able to round this corner and get a shot, we were going to be about 300 yards. Everything was looking good. We rounded the corner, got set up. I got on the sticks and found the ram. We looked at him, and about the time I saw him and the outfitter looked at him, we both realized that this ram was old and mature, but he had broomed off, and he was probably only about 28 inches on both sides. And being that it was the first day of the hunt, we decided that this was not the ram that we wanted to shoot.
Precision Hunting TV is also brought to you by McWhorter True Precision Long Range Hunting and Shooting School, Atlas Development Group, Brooks Barrels, and Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue. This segment is brought to you by Atlas Development Group, makers of the finest premium rifle cartridge cases on the market. Proudly made in the USA. Our stringent manufacturing process and raw materials yield superior results.
Day number 2 of our hunt, we go back out to a new piece of property. Right out of the gate, this big mountain range, we're just glassing, doing lots of looking, and we see 3 or 4 really good rams, but they're moving and they're moving fast. Well, as luck would have it, we got to the other side and just nothing. As we were heading in, we got a call from one of the other guys, and he said, I saw a couple of real big rams go into some rocks and bed down. You guys might want to go to that property and take a look at them. So we all looked at each other and said, do we want to go try to look at these rams, or we want to get some lunch first? And you know what we had to say, we went after those rams.
Welcome back, folks. Today we're going to talk about barrel twist. I get asked all the time, what caliber I need and what twist to go along with that. Why is that important?
Well, with every caliber and every bullet, you've got an ideal twist rate. And the twist rate is important because that's what stabilizes the bullet. Well, a 1 in 8 twist means that the bullet inside the barrel makes 1 revolution in 8 inches. So a 1 in 10 twist does 1 revolution in 10 twists. An 8 twist is considered a faster twist because it spins the bullet quicker. And that's important because you have to stabilize the bullet that you're shooting out of every gun. The gyroscopic stability, or SG, depends on the weight of the projectile, the BC of the projectile, the length of the projectile, and it also is dependent on, the SG goes up and down with your environment. At sea level and a cold temperature, say 20 degrees, it's going to be the lowest that it's going to be. SG, or stability, goes up with altitude and temperature increases. So SG's always got to be above 1, and preferably 1.5 or higher. And there's all kind of calculators out there that you can put in the BC of your bullet, the length, the caliber of it, the weight of it, and then your environmentals like your temperature and your altitude. And you can plug all that in and it'll tell you what your SG is. And if that number is above 1.5, then that's what you're looking for. And that's what we always do. We've done these guns for so long that we basically know exactly what's going to be the best twist for the best bullet choice.
All right, so what happens if your twist rate's too fast?
If you've got a real aggressive twist rate, say you decide you're going to put a 1-in-7 twist on a really fast caliber with a light bullet, then that is going to overspin that bullet, and the RPMs are going to be so high that that bullet might actually spin the jacket off in the barrel or on its way to the animal. And there's a formula for that. It's velocity times a constant of 720 divided by the twist, and that gives you your RPMs. And our general rule is we always want the RPMs to be under 300,000 to prevent any possibility of a bullet not performing like it's supposed to. So you don't have to worry about all that. You give us a call, tell us what you want to shoot and what bullet, and we'll do the rest.
And that's your True Precision Tip of the Week, brought to you by McWhorter Custom Rifles, Alan and Kyle.
Precision Hunting TV is also brought to you by Leo Photo USA, Trigger Tech, Hawkins Precision, Armageddon Gear, Mesquite Creek Taxidermy, Hell's Canyon Barrels, Gun Foam, Boyd Harness Company, and Metal Spinning Targets. This segment is brought to you by Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue, real Texas barbecue.
So we eased into this new property. We were making our way real slow down this road, and we looked up into these rocks, and I could see one ram in the open just laying there. So we all tucked in, got the binoculars out, got the spotting scope out, and put our eyes on it. And it was a young ram that was laying out in the open, but the guy that had saw these rams said there was about 4 of them together in the area. So we just sat real still and just watched that hillside, knowing that there was probably more than one in that area. Sure enough, as we're sitting there and watching, in the shadows, we could see the tips of horns of a big ram just moving back and forth, and he was tucked in behind these rocks. So we finally knew that there was a real big ram in the back, and we could see just like above his eyes, and we knew that it was a trophy ram because we could see his horns, but we could not see any of his body besides like his eyes above. After about an hour, he stood up and he stepped out to grab a bite of grass. Finally, he turned broadside. My guide, he said, take them when you're ready, settle the crosshairs in, and I squeezed off the shot.
Oh, dropped him. All right, reload.
So at the shot, my ram dropped, but 3 other rams stood up, and one particular ram, just big old beautiful heavy horn, big curl on him, he stood perfectly on this rock, and everyone's clamoring, telling Adam to get his gun and shoot. Now Adam knew that my gun was very capable and it was already in the perfect position. He said, can I shoot your gun? I said, absolutely, go ahead. It's already dialed in for 600 yards. He settled in right behind my rifle. He was about to squeeze the trigger, and the ram jumped off the rock, went down, and then climbed back up right behind where my ram had shot and was standing up perfect. Gave him another perfect broadside shot. He squeezed the trigger.
Let's go, boys! Let's go!
That's what it's all about.
Because my bullet had pushed about a foot left, I told him you need to hold at least 2 minutes to the right. He held it on perfectly, squeezed the trigger, and that made a perfect broadside shot on this animal. 2 great rams in about 30 seconds. Man, was it a fun hunt. Two great rams down, now the work was about to start. We had to go straight down and straight back up, and guys, it was warm, and we had a long way to go to get to them. All right, you guys, did an excellent job.
Dude, good job, man. Great time.
Yeah, what a ram. Well, here he is, 585 yards, an absolute tank of an Aoudad. We're here in West Texas with Austin and Bryce, TO Outfitters, and we have had a great hunt. This is day 2. Yesterday we saw several rams. The McWhorter 7 PRC did its job. 585 yards just dropped him. Got him in the neck. Wasn't the best shot, but sometimes it pays to be lucky. We did put the tape on him, 33 6/8. A giant, far surpasses what I thought I would take out here with these guys, but we have had a great hunt. We sat on him for probably an hour and a half. He finally stood up, we made it happen. What a beauty. I've always wanted one, and man, do I have one now. So my old high school buddy and I, we set out to try to get 2 mature rams. Our goal at the beginning was we wanted to shoot at least 32-inch rams, and TO Outfitters put us on 2 32-inch plus rams. In fact, big trophies. Mine was nearly 34 inches, his was 33 inches. We had a fun time. It was hot, it was warm, but it was the beginning of the rut, and the rams were ready to do their thing. So all in all, Kyle, myself, Adam, we had another great hunt out in West Texas. I can't wait to do this one all over again.